Let's continue looking at editing video on the timeline. So I'm pressing the tilde key to go back to my normal window, and let's just have a better look at this bear clip. So there's several things we can do with the bear clip on our timeline. The first one is to use our trim tool, which is the default tool when you hover your mouse at the ends of the clip. So you see this red roll edit icon. Now if I hold down the mouse and just move my mouse to the left, it's going to trim my clip on the timeline. So you can trim a clip in your source monitor using your mark in and mark out buttons, but you can also edit it on the timeline, and generally you'll edit it on the timeline because it's just a bit quicker. So that's the first thing we can do. Now you can press Ctrl Z just to undo any changes. You can also change the speed and duration of this clip. So there are two ways of doing this, and there's probably more ways. Premiere Pro, there's always 3 or 4 ways to do something. But what we're looking at now is just right click on this clip, select it, right click it, and we've got a big list of options here. The one we want to pick is speed and duration. So by default, all your clips are added with the speed of 100%. So that's the original speed. But we can increase that. Say we want to, instead of 100, I'm going to change it to 200. So that's going to double the speed of our clip when we're playing it. And because we're increasing the speed, that also shortens the duration of the clip. So if I go back to 100, you see we started with about 12 seconds. Make it 200 and we've got 6 seconds here. So just do that, change it to 200%, and if you play it back, it should be twice the speed now. Okay, and just Ctrl Z will just undo that. Now also a very handy thing, just right click again, speed duration, and if you want to know how to reverse a clip, it's very simple. Just right click, go to your speed duration and click on this reverse speed. So that's going to play it backwards. So that's a very simple editing technique, just playing the clip backwards. And we'll just undo it again, Ctrl Z. So what if we want to get rid of the audio for this clip, but we want to keep the video? So say we want to play some background music, and that's very common with YouTube videos. So let's just, if I just want to remove the audio, by default I can't. If I press the delete key now, it just deletes the whole thing. So Ctrl Z, bring it back. Now if I just want to select the audio, or just select the video, but the audio in this case, hold down the Alt key. So hold down the Alt key and then click on just the audio. Okay, and now if you press delete, that will delete just the audio. So by default, with your clips, the video and audio is linked because that makes it a lot easier to work with. But you can unlink your video and audio. So you can right click and go unlink here. So now the audio and video will be treated separately. But generally you don't want to do that, because when you move your video around or play with your video, trim your video, you want to also trim your audio as well. And I'll just add that back to the timeline. So the next thing we'll look at is importing another clip, and we'll drag the leg clip. So I'll just bring up the leg clip in my monitor. Now by default, when you add a video to the timeline, it's going to, and you drag it towards the end, it's going to snap to the end. So that's the default. By default, snap is on. And snap is a setting here. You can actually disable that if you want. So by default it's on, and there's really no reason to disable it. But if by chance you do want to do that for some editing technique, just click on it again to disable it. And now if I drag this leg clip, I can actually drag it wherever I want on the timeline. So see, I just dragged it there and there's a gap here, okay? And I can just drag it anywhere I want. Now if I just delete it and put snap back on, and you'll see it actually allows me, there's actually some marks here between the two clips, which allows me to snap the clips together. So just to make sure that there's going to be no gaps in my sequence, and you certainly want to avoid gaps. So leave snap on. There's really no need to disable it. So I have 2 video on my timeline, and I've actually got 3 videos in my project bin. Now, you're going to have a lot of footage, and it's a really good practice to start to organize this video and your other assets. So assets includes your video, audio, your still images, animated images, etc. It's a really good idea to organize that into bins. So a bin is like a folder. So you can right click in your project bin and go new bin, and we're going to call this one video. So this video bin is going to store all our video, and once you've done created the video bin, just drag your video into the video bin. Okay, just be careful not to drag your sequence. You actually, if you have several sequences, and you can certainly do that, you might actually want to create a sequences bin, but we've only got one sequence at the moment. So by putting my video into bins, I can actually double click on that bin, and it has its own separate window. So I can put this window here on a separate monitor if I've got a dual monitor setup, and that allows me to work with my clips and drag and drop my clips in a lot easier. Okay, let's see what else we can do with multiple clips. So I'm just going to delete the lake one again from my timeline, and I've still got my lake video open in my source monitor, but just watching very carefully, I'm just going to drag it now. I'm not going to drag it to the end like I did before with snap enabled, which eliminates any gaps. I'm actually just going to drag it into the bear clip. Okay, so I'm going to drag it right on top and release my mouse button. Okay, so what did that do? Well, actually, I'll just make it a little bit better. Do that again. I'm just going to drag it to the start. Okay, what did that do? Well, that lake clip overwrote the bear clip. Okay, you can actually see a little bit of the bear clip at the end here, because the lake clip effectively replaced the bear clip, and because the bear clip was longer, we've actually got a bit of bear footage at the end. Now, usually that's not what you want. Okay, so I'll just undo that. What you usually want to do is do an insert edit. So the first edit we did where the lake clip replaced the bear footage, that's called an overwrite edit. The next one we're doing is called an insert edit. And to do that, just hold down the control key. So hold down control and then drag it on top of the bear clip at the start, and then release your mouse button. Okay, so you've added the lake clip to the start, and that's actually not replaced the bear clip, it's just shuffled it along the timeline. So I'm just pressing the / key, and I can see both clips now.